As a math teacher, I give pop quizzes often. I want to be able to give a letter grade for all my students, and I don't want to have to guess, especially if I have hundreds of students here, exactly if they get 60 or better, if it's an F, or maybe 80 or better is a B. Instead, what I can do is create a nested if function, and what that means is that it's like the if function, like if they meet a certain criteria, I want to give them a letter grade. Now the nested if function is way cool because it can say, look, if it doesn't meet this criteria, then go to the next one. If it doesn't pass this test, then try the next one until it actually makes the test that you decide that is passable to give it a grade. For example, I'm going to click here in the grade and then go ahead and start. Now you can either use the if function by clicking on the fx, but in this case, since it's going to be nested, meaning a function within another function, and I think you'll see what I mean when I start typing it. I'm going to hit equals on the keyboard and I'm going to type in if, then I'm going to open parentheses, and what I need to do is now perform a test, and I'm going to say if cell B5, which is the score 55, so I want to type in B5 is greater than, or let's say equal to, what's going to be my score for an A? If it's greater than or equal to, let's say 90, then that's my test. Now I'm going to put a comma in there and say, now I need to define what's going to happen if the test is true, and also what happens if the test is false. You can see this little pop-up here, it's in bold, because after I hit the comma, that's my next stage. So now I need to go ahead and type in a letter grade, and I'll put it in quotes, open quotes, shift A, and then close quotes, and then another comma. Once I type in the next delimiter of that comma, it says now I'm moving on to the false value in case if the person doesn't meet that letter grade. Now, here's the tricky part about the if function. Because if it's false, I don't want it to say, well, you didn't get an A, and leave it at that, whether they get an A or they don't, because I have other letter grades. I do have a B, a C, a D, and an F. So if it's false, I want it to do another test. Go ahead and continue with the next test. I'm going to type in if again, and I'm going to start a new if function. So you can see if it doesn't get an A, like this one won't, it's going to go to the false, and in the false it's going to see, well, I need to do another test because even though it's not an A, well, what is it? And basically say the same thing. B5 is greater than or equal to, now what's my cutoff for B's? Because I want it to be, let's say it's greater than or equal to 80, comma. Now if it's true, I want to go ahead and give a B grade, comma, and what if it's false? Then I want to do another function within that function here and start again and say if open B5 is greater than or equal to, and this time I'm going to look at my 70s for C's, comma, open quotes, and I'm doing no spaces in between any of this here, and I want to do a C grade, close quote, and then comma. Now what if it's false? Because you're looking at Billy, he's got a low score of 55. He isn't making the grades here, so I need to continue on and say, well, if it doesn't meet the A, then go to the next test, which is over here, the B. If he doesn't meet the B, and that's false, then go to the one within that. And you can see where I'm going with this, and that's where they're calling a nested if function, because it's within a function within another function. So then I need to do another if, and I'll keep going here. Now on this last one, if they don't pass the test to get a 60 or better to get the D, then I just basically want to close this off with an F for false. So anything less than that, less than a 60, is going to be F. So you can see I started with the A, and if it doesn't equal an A, then go to a B. If it doesn't equal B, then go to a C. If it doesn't equal C, then go to a D. And if it doesn't pass the parameters of 60 or better, at least for a D, but underneath the 70, then I want to give the final F. Now what I need to do is, you can see I've got one open parentheses here that begins the argument, 1, 2, 3, 4, and hence I need to close off 4. So hold down the shift key, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then when I'm finished, hit enter, and you can see that Billy got an F. Now once that's done, I can click and drag the autofill handle all the way down, and it'll update accordingly and give the remainder of my letter grades. Hey, thanks for watching. If you like my video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you subscribe to my YouTube channel, as soon as I upload a new video, you'll be notified instantly, and you can do that by coming over here and clicking on my face. You can also click here to support me, so for $2 a month, you can have access to over 2,700 training videos, all ad-free, and for a few bucks more, you can have access to my exercises, instructor notes, quizzes, certificate of completion, and a whole lot more.